A bootleg helicopter factory is being shut down, and supermarkets are snubbing coconut goods that have been picked by monkeys. Walmart is transforming 160 of its parking lots into drive-in theaters. These are the weird news stories for Monday. This is Weird AF News, the only daily weird news podcast hosted by a comedian. I'm your host, JONESY. I tend to ramble a little bit, so please forgive me. You're going to learn a little bit about the weird world today. I hope you had a nice weekend. Let's do it.
Hey, mainstream news. Listen to Weird AF News with JONESY.
A bootleg helicopter factory has been shut down. This place is called Moldova, which I just learned is a country near Romania, which reminds me of Dracula. Do you think Dracula was buying his helicopters from Moldova? No, Dracula had wings. Moldovan officers, I guess that's what you call a Moldova person, is a Moldovan. They raided a clandestine helicopter factory. Ooh, underground helicopter bootlegging going on. It's a strange choice of things to bootleg. Just sell drugs. It's way easier. What are you doing? Hey, man, I got an idea. Let's just make some helicopters in my basement. I got all these extra blades in my backyard. The Moldovan Prosecutor's Office for Combating Organized Crime and Special Cases and investigators from the Police General Inspectorate, they closed a clandestine factory in the Crioleni area near the Dniester River. Yeah, don't you love these episodes of Weird AF News when Jonesy just butchers all the names of places and does half-ass accents? What? My accents are pretty good. Ah. In the east of the country, this occurred on Tuesday. This place was producing like bootleg copies, they say. Bootleg copies of helicopters. That's funny. Bootleg copies of the Kamov Ka-26 Soviet-type helicopters. Over the past several months, the police documented the illegal activity of a well-organized group of people specializing in the production of helicopters. The secretly built helicopters were about to be exported illegally to former Soviet countries. They carried out a search last week and found that there were over 10 helicopters on the production line at various stages of completion. I'd love to see these bootleg helicopters. I wonder what sort of parts they were throwing on this thing. Oh, somebody put a big wheel and then slapped on two rotors. They built one out of a tricycle. All the helicopters were produced without the necessary permits and the documents of origin for the parts and equipment. How dare you not get your helicopter producing permits? They're so easy to get. You have no excuse. Go get your helicopter production permit, dudes. You have no excuse. They're easy to get. I got one 2 weeks ago. No problem. A criminal case for preparing to smuggle aircraft by 2 or more persons has been initiated by the prosecutors. If found guilty, the suspects could face jail sentences ranging from 3 to 10 years, according to Moldovan law. Well, in defense of the Moldovan helicopter bootleggers, I mean, what's going on over there in Moldova? Really not a lot, I'd imagine. It's probably a very, very dull place to be. Why not just bootleg helicopters with your buddies on the side? Bootleg some tanks while you're at it. Hey, what are you doing? You want to make some Sherman tanks in my backyard? Sure, dude. Let's do it. I have turrets. Are turrets part of a tank? I'd imagine they are. What did we learn from this story? Anything you can imagine being bootlegged is being bootlegged. By the way, I drank some moonshine on 4th of July. I don't know if it was bootlegged. I assumed it was bootlegged. It's moonshine. I mean, although there are companies like making moonshine these days, I guess you get yourself a moonshine permit. You permit and you do it on the up and up. Yeah, I had some moonshine. Man, that shit is strong. They had placed 2 peaches in the mason jar of moonshine, so it had sort of a peachy sweet flavor. So good, though. Don't worry, I didn't moonshine and drive. I would never. Actually, I did. I moonshined. I drank my bootleg moonshine, and then I took my bootleg helicopter home. Kidding, guys. How was your 4th of July? Supermarkets are snubbing coconut goods that have been picked by monkeys. A number of supermarkets have removed some coconut water and coconut oil from their shelves after it emerged that the products were made with fruit picked by monkeys. The monkeys are snatched from the wild and trained to pick up to 1,000 coconuts a day. This is according to PETA, the People for Ethical Treatment of Animals. The animal rights group said pig-tailed macaws in Thailand were treated like coconut picking machines. Well, don't they pick coconuts anyways in their spare time? So at least they're getting paid to do it, right? I assume they're getting paid. No? They're getting paid in like bananas and shit, right? I don't know. More information is needed. In response, some supermarkets have vowed to stop selling these monkey-picked coconut goods. Meanwhile, Morrison's grocery store said it already removed products made with monkey-picked coconuts from the shelves. Here's a quote. "As part of our animal welfare policy, we have committed to never knowingly sell any products sourced from monkey labor." The monkey labor. But now it's okay to buy like all sorts of electronics that have been made in China by a child that was paid 18 cents an hour. That's okay, right? It's ridiculous. Like the smartphone that the PETA employee used to tweet this whole outrageous monkey labor situation was made by a child somewhere. Here's another quote from one of these, it looks like a food co-op. "As an ethical retailer, we do not permit the use of monkey labor to source ingredients for our products." The Prime Minister's fiancée, Carrie Simmons, who's a conservationist, welcomed the announcements from these supermarkets. She called on all other supermarkets to boycott these products that are picked by monkeys. This Carrie Simmons, of course, is the fiancée of the UK Prime Minister, in case you're wondering. She's also a conservationist, so she's doing a lot of good in the world, apparently. Although she's about to take some jobs away from these monkeys. These poor monkeys need work, Carrie, don't you know? It is difficult to find and maintain employment during a pandemic. PETA is all on top of this monkey labor situation. PETA said it found 8 farms in Thailand where monkeys were forced to pick coconuts. Male monkeys are able to pick up to 1,000 coconuts a day. It's thought that a human can only pick about 80. They also said they discovered monkey schools where the animals were trained to pick fruit. I don't think you need to train a monkey to pick fruit. They come out of the monkey womb already ready to pick fruit. They're built for it. They're built to climb trees and pick fruit. That's what they do. I'm not trying to justify them being forced to pick coconuts. I'm just saying, don't also say that they are trained to pick fruit. Okay, PETA? PETA makes so many assumptions about these animals. It's ridiculous in their stupid causes. I'm not saying this is a stupid cause. I'm saying most of their causes are really stupid. Here's a quote from them. "The animals at these facilities, many of whom are illegally captured as babies, display stereotypic behavior indicative of extreme stress." Yeah. Okay. PETA is calling on decent people never to support the use of monkey labor by shunning coconut products made from Thailand. Look, PETA, I want to get behind you on your monkey labor cause, but I'm already trying to shun products that are made with child labor, like human. There's a lot of human indecency going on out there. I need to get on top of that before I can get on the monkey indecency. I'm sorry to say. All right. It's like every time I buy a pair of Reeboks, I'm like, oh man, who made these? Why were they so cheap? I'm worried. Okay. All right. I don't know. What do you guys think about the monkey labor situation? Are you not going to buy the coconut milk? What are you going to do about this? Am I being insensitive by making fun of PETA in this cause, as I always do when PETA pops up in my news feed? Call the show 646-450-2012. You like podcasts? You're listening to my podcast. Maybe you thought to yourself, I'd like to make a podcast. Too difficult. No, not with Anchor. Anchor has free creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast from your phone or your computer. Anchor distributes your podcast to Apple, Spotify, Stitcher, and more. They have advertising integration, so you can even make a little money off your podcast. Everything you need to make a podcast in one place. Download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. And good luck with your podcast. Good luck with your creation. Good luck with your life, man. Walmart is transforming 160 of its parking lots into drive-in theaters. Two of the most classic pieces of Americana are coming together this summer: drive-in theaters and Walmart. Beginning in August, the retailer is converting 160 of its U.S. store parking lots into drive-in movie theaters. As the pandemic continues, drive-in theaters have been making a comeback as a safe alternative to the traditional movie theaters that remain closed in much of the country. Walmart is partnering with Tribeca Enterprises, the Robert De Niro-backed media company, to program the films that will be shown in their parking lots. Locations and movie titles haven't yet been announced, but they will be revealed later on, and the event will run through October and encompass more than 300 films. I'm, for one, extremely nervous about hanging out in Walmart parking lots. I don't know if you've listened to Weird AF News before. You can glean from Weird AF News that Walmart is the most dangerous building on the planet. I wrote a blog piece, an article about this that I published on Medium, with some alarming stats. The number of violent crimes that happen in Walmart parking lots are just, well, they're hair-raising, really, when you look at the numbers. I don't know if I trust it. I don't want to be hanging out in a Walmart parking lot. How long is a film? 2 hours? That's too long to be in a Walmart parking lot, in my opinion. That is too much exposure. I'd rather be exposed to COVID than be exposed to a Walmart parking lot. Just being honest with you. Anything could happen in a Walmart parking lot. You could be struck with a wiffle ball bat in the groin. You don't know. Somebody that's all tweaking out on that drug called Florida could come by and dry hump your baby right in the face. You don't know. It's a Walmart parking lot. What could go down? It's the most dangerous place ever. You're lucky. You're lucky if you only get an STD from a Walmart parking lot. You're lucky. Here's some quotes from the people who are setting up this dangerous activity. This family-friendly night will include hit movies, special appearances from filmmakers and celebrities, and concessions delivered right to customer vehicles. Will you be policing the event? That's what I would like to know. I want to know how many cops per Walmart parking lot. You normally don't hire security, Walmart. Are you going to hire a couple for this event? This family-friendly night? Hey, man, I'm all for drive-in movie theater pop-ups. And they've been happening all over the country, with small business owners forced temporarily to shut down their traditional theater operations. They're going to the old drive-in locations, or they're building makeshift theaters in parking lots in a bid to make up for lost income. And I am for that. I think drive-in theaters are pretty cool, man. There's a few of them out here in Los Angeles, and I know that some of my friends have been going there as an alternative to the traditional theater experience because it's safer. But not in a Walmart parking lot. That's all I'm saying. That's my point. Just like do it in the parking lot of the regular theater that's no longer doing the movies. How about that? Everybody wins there. We don't have to go to Walmart for 2 hours, and then we can still see the movie, and the theater can stay in business. You know, I'd imagine these theaters are going out of business. It's alarming. And by the way, I'm still waiting for one of you to give me a Hulu password. I mean, I don't know how many times I got to ask for this damn thing. Can I get a Hulu password, please? Can somebody? If you like podcasts, check out Spotify. You can listen to all your favorite artists and podcasts in one place for free. You don't even need a premium account. Spotify has a huge selection of podcasts on every topic, including this one that you're listening to right now. And you can easily share what you're listening to with friends on Instagram as well. So download the Spotify app, search for your favorite podcast, and also make sure to follow Weird AF News and never miss an episode. Yes, download Spotify and make your life easier. Hey guys, this is Jonesy, the host of Weird AF News. Hope you had a nice weekend. I hope you enjoyed the Florida Friday stories. I got a terrible review I'd love to read because they're hilarious. Somebody named Silker left me a review on Amazon. Only 1 star. Come on, man. Really? The host rambles, apparently. The news is okay / funny. Rambles off topic for the majority of the time. The majority? Really? No, I wouldn't say majority. That would mean that more than half of the time it's rambling, which is just simply not true. And the stats will prove you wrong. If you were to say host rambles half of the time, I'd be like, okay, now you're getting closer to truth. But yeah, the 1 star though, really? If I'm giving you if the news is okay / funny, I don't get more than 1 star. I don't understand that. This is a very angry person, very mean with the 1 star. I don't mind the telling me I ramble. I agree. But the 1 star, really deserving of 1 star, guys. You need to offset this 1 star by giving me an Amazon review that's 5 stars, please. Just be a part of this to sort of even out my review because I'm terrible reviews, man. My numbers are terrible. This is just it's just unnecessary with the 1 star situation. I really don't. If I'm trying, can I get 2 stars? I'm actually trying to do something here in the world. Okay, it was free for you to listen to. Silker, it was free. It's a free thing I put out into the world. Can I get 2 stars? 2? I don't think that's being very greedy. I think it's being very reasonable. Let's move on to some thanks. Terry Lamar sent me a PayPal donation. Thank you, Terry. Appreciate you. She said, loved the Florida news this week. Ah, yes. She says, happy, wonderful 4th. Well, thank you. Happy, wonderful 4th for you as well. To you. Carlos from Montreal, Canada, just sort of set it straight for me regarding one of the stories I did last week. He says, your Weird AF News is beyond funny. It's part of my wake-up playlist on my Google Mini Nest. I have to nitpick as a Canadian and someone who has been there. Canadian Tire sells way more than tires, but it started by doing that in a time and place where flat tires happened all the time. But now it's a combination hardware, houseware, clothing, electronics, toy, sports gear, lighting, etc. store. And also has their own, quote, money, which is from loyalty programs. Okay, so yes, Canadian Tire would carry Mr. Potato Head, but wouldn't normally list everything as it on the checkout. Yes, totally. Thank you for clearing that up with me. I thought it was a tire store that only sold tires, but Carlos Sebastian has straighten things up. From Montreal, by the way, which a place I've been to and I just really love. Peter Honetschlager, I hope I said your name right, Peter, wrote me an email. Hey, Jonesy, I love your podcast. I wake up and listen to it every morning here in South Dakota, but I did go ahead and ask one of my family members that is in the Navy currently if he had been dropping acid. He says he was not for the taking of acid, but he informed me that the military does have a zero tolerance rule for any form of drug. But the only way to find out if someone has used acid, apparently, is by a spinal tap. I also heard your podcast this morning, and thank you for giving me a shout-out. I appreciate it. Oh, did I give you a shout-out already? Well, you're welcome, Peter. And thanks for explaining to me how the military handles drugs. I did that story about LSD in the Navy, which seems to be a thing. Also, shout out to Thomas Swain, who sent me an email. Says he's been listening for around 2 years. That's fabulous. 2-year commitment? I don't know how you commit so hardcore, Thomas, given that I ramble so much. A big shout out now for the new Patreon. Supreme Mad Kunt. I'm not going to say what that's usually pronounced as. I don't want to be too crass on the show, but this is Supreme Mad Kunt, as far as I'm concerned. Yo, Jonesy, I'm your 69th member of the Patreon. That's awesome. My name is Justin. I live in Sydney, Australia. Bruh, I've been listening to you for at least 3 years. It's been a crack up. I love the content you source. I dig your observations. I agree with most of your views. Awesome way to begin your early morning wake and bake. Weird AF News. Oh, yeah, I agree, Justin, a.k.a. Mad Kunt. Supreme. Yeah. Wake and bake with Weird AF News. That's super. Good idea. I would also like to tell you about a social platform I've been using. Okay, we got a social platform he's recommending I use. Yeah, I'll check that out. No sweat. I really appreciate it, bruh. And if you ever want to come to Sydney, Australia, you're always welcome to camp at my place, free of charge. Just pay for your own food and your weed, bruh. Yeah, obviously I'll pay for my own food and weed, dude. And by the way, do you really have a camp? Where do you live? I live 2 streets. Oh, he says, I live 2 streets from Maroubra Beach, South Sydney. Google it, homie. Oh, I'm going to definitely Google that. The Maroubra Beach. Sounds pretty sweet. I love to laugh, love to blaze, and consider myself somewhat of an amateur comedian, Jonesy. Also, do you or can you skate, as in skateboard? That's a strange question. Yeah, I can skateboard. Of course, I'm an American. A lot of us skateboard. Now, I'm not great at it, but I can do it. The better question is, can I surf? Because if I'm going to stay with you at the beach, bro, if I'm going to camp with you at the beach, I'm going to do some surfing. Which I really can't, but I'm going to take lessons for sure. I've been meaning to. I'll get with the program. Thanks to everybody who called the show as well. I'll publish some calls after this. I'm getting caught up with all my correspondence over the weekend, so you're now you'll have to suffer through all of this during the outro, or not if you don't want to listen to the outro. But you learned a lot. You can glean a lot from the fans of Weird AF News if you listen to the outro. So I encourage you to do so. You can also learn who's supporting the show, because it's a proud moment for those of you who support the show, and then I give you a shout out, right? And then your friend sitting next to you or your loved one, and they hear your name on the podcast, they're like, "Whoa, crazy! They're talking about you, Cheryl," or whoever it is. So thanks for reaching out to the show. You guys can join the Patreon as well, as Justin did from Sydney. It's patreon.com/weirdafnews. You can also send me a PayPal as well to my Gmail, funnyjones@gmail.com, which is also the place you can email me whatever the hell you want to email me. I'm always there. I'm always waiting. Call the show. I left the number in a previous article, segment rather, if any of the stories resonated with you. Also, follow me on Instagram @funnyjones. You can see what I've been up to. Over the weekend, 4th of July, I posted a lot of videos of me lighting off fireworks. So those of you who follow me on the gram, I hope you enjoyed those stories that I put up there. I'm also on Facebook, Comedian Jonesy, and on Twitter @funnyjones. So reach out, follow me, show some support. I love you all. And I will see you tomorrow.
Hey, Jonesy. I just wanted to add a few things about today's podcast. So first thing with the Navy on acid thing, I don't understand why people would want to go on an aircraft carrier in acid. I gotta say, it's like, imagine getting 20 people you don't really like, locking them in a bathroom with you for 8 hours, and trying to have a good time on acid. It's not going to happen. It's cramped. There's no privacy. Fuck that. And next, using the dark web. Well, the dark web was developed and created by the U.S. Navy to help spies keep anonymity overseas. So why not let the sailors use it? What the hell? And then for the smell of space, no astronaut has ever opened up their mask to take a big sniff of space on a spacewalk. So I'm guessing they're talking about the smell inside of a rocket or the space station or whatever. And I'm betting that's a whole lot more like BO than rum. Just saying. Okay. Have a good one.
Hello, Jonesy, and all you weirdos out there in Weird AF Newsland. This is Trace Adkins, and I've just completed my set here at the Capitol Fort in Washington, D.C. I hope all of the weirdos and you, Jonesy, had a happy and healthy, mostly safe 4th of July. I just wanted to say that these are rough times, and I hope that everyone is helping out their fellow man. And you can help out Jonesy by calling and joining the Patreon at 646-450-2012, or by making a donation to his PayPal. Everyone needs to think about taking care of their brother and their fellow sister at this time. It's a difficult time. And these 4th of July fireworks that go off, the sounds, the bright lights, the explosions, they can be troubling to our veterans. They bring back the trauma of wartime. And so if you think about that, then you might want to consider donating to the Wounded Warrior Project. You can do that by calling 855-254-4977 and become a advance guard. Again, think about your fellow man at this time and do what you can to help out each other, whether it be your fellow weirdo or your fellow American. And think about the veterans of this world, that freedoms that you have to celebrate today and this time forward for the rest of America's freedom and for the rest of your lives. Again, this is Trace Adkins, and thank you for your time. God bless America, and happy 4th of July.